Melinda picked our theme today as pathways. So I want to encourage each and every one of you that are members to make some goals this year regarding the paths you're going to work on, the steps you're going to take, and communicate with our VPE, Melinda Maganzo, so that she can track your progress and get you scheduled as needed. This is the curriculum for Toastmasters, and even though we are a specialty club, we still need to be working our paths. So everybody commit to taking that on. Charles, do you have an educational moment for us?
Yes, I do. This is from the CEO of Success Magazine. Each month, she writes something to inspire the people to improve their situation. And the article is titled Navigating the Roller Coaster Ride of Entrepreneurship. In it, she says, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received as an entrepreneur is get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's inevitable. You'll have to face situations outside your comfort zone. Recognize discomfort as a catalyst to growth. When you feel uncomfortable, celebrate and embrace it because something amazing is about to happen.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, uncomfortable is not a bad thing. It means you're growing and you're being challenged. And that is a good thing. Well, as Toastmaster of the Day, it is my pleasure to serve in that role. And I am excited to see so many guests this morning. So welcome. Teresa, is that correct? Teresa and Mia and Sumitra, Karen, and William, and Bruce. Bruce.
And Karen.
I did say Karen, didn't I?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is exciting. Our timer. Go ahead, Charles.
We have as many guests as we have members.
I know. I would like to introduce our timer for the evening, which is April Gillis. April, would you like to explain your role and show your device?
For our timing for today, I will be using our timing lights. And I will be showing my background here. For our speakers, will you verify your time for me? For our first speaker, Bond Wing, what is your time?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, perfect. Thank you so much. And for speaker number 2, Melinda, your time?
The same, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Okay. So at the 5-minute mark, you will see the green, which I will display here. At the 6-minute mark, you will see the yellow. And at the 7-minute mark, you'll see the red. And I will keep the red up for 30 seconds. And if you go over the red, you will be disqualified for your speech. That's the language we use to get ready for competition. But we have all been great with our timing here, so I don't foresee that being a challenge. So if you need to, you can pen me as your timer. I'll also raise my hand so that you can see me in the top of your square for today as your timer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bond, did you send me an intro?
Yes, in a text message.
And a text message. Okay, let me check my phone. Our first speaker is our illustrious Vice President of Education, or excuse me, Vice President of Public Relations. Okay, so the title of Bond's speech is Good Luck. It is a leadership development pathway level 3, inspire your audience. So please help me welcome Bon Wang. Good luck.
Thank you. I grew up in China. Back in China, we have these popular phrases that we often slip out of our mouths without noticing it. I guess they are called the pet phrases here in America, right? In China, one of the popular phrases is this: focus on things, not people. I guess the equivalent in English is this: please don't judge. Focus on things, not people. This phrase popped up in my mind a few weeks ago when I was in an online meeting. One of the guys said he was working on a project. He had to complete it by Neighbor Day. Then I was like, Neighbor Day. It's July now. It's way past the Neighbor Day. Apparently, growing up in China, I was thinking about the International Neighbor Day, which is on May 1st. The guy responded, no, I mean September 2nd, the American Neighbor Day. Then I was like, oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't know that. The conversation continued. After a while, we almost passed this subject and moved on. I heard the guy say, apparently, you don't know much about American history. For sure, he was saying that in a very friendly tone. But I was like, oh, ouch. It really hurts. And it got me thinking what impact our words could make when we gave feedback, even in small talk. I remember back to college time when I was studying English language. And we had this practice in the classroom. Two students sit together and talked in English over any subject for some time. Then one of the students would give the other students, their partners, and give them feedback, tell them how they did in the conversation, what mistakes that they have made, etc., etc. You know, back to that time, we were all young, we were very competitive, we wanted to sound better than our partners. Oftentimes, after we point out their mistakes, and we would give this comment to them. Hey, your pronunciation is poor, or you need to improve your grammar. For sure, we were seeing that in a very friendly way. We thought we were helping them. We had no idea that it was rude until our English teacher told us so. Our English teacher was a soft-spoken gentleman from England. He always had this smile on his face. He often tell us this. He kept telling us this. Hey, if you didn't hear a word from your partner clearly, just tell him to say it again. But don't tell him this. Your pronunciation's not good enough, or you need to improve your grammar. Then he went on to explain why he said this. He said, it's like I come to China, I'm visiting a city, and I often got lost. It's natural because I'm a foreigner. I can't read the signs on the street. Then I have to turn to local people for help. They are always happy to help me. Then in the end, when I say thank you, they often give me this comment. Good luck. It really makes my day. But what if they gave me this comment? Hey, you have a poor sense of direction. You need to improve that. Although they are saying that in a very friendly way, it will kill my whole day. So why we should avoid giving judgment when we give feedback, even in small talk? Firstly, let's not doubt about our good intentions. In most circumstances, we really want to help our partners improve their skills. So after we point out their mistakes, give them some corrections, we thought we would take one step further by reminding them of their pronunciation or their sense of direction. We thought we were doing a favor, but we may not notice that this favor is a wrapper. It wraps a bullet inside. It could kill your partner's confidence and the joy of learning. Michael Jordan, the best basketball player of all time. When he was in high school, he was cut from his high school basketball team. You know what his mother did? She didn't judge on Michael or his school. She didn't say, hey, Michael, you're not good enough. Or your school has made a mistake. Instead, she told Michael, hey, if you want something, work for it. So dear friends, if one day you found yourself in a position to give feedback to your friends, your partners, let's remember to offer a hand of encouragement instead of judgment. You may say, oh, come on, it's just a few words. It just slipped out of my mouth without noticing it. It won't hurt. But remember, words do hurt when you use them to judge. It's like what my English teacher told me. Just show people the road. If you want to give comment, just say, good luck, instead of reminding them their sense of direction. Or just tell your partner to say the word again if you didn't hear that clearly, instead of reminding them of their pronunciation. You know why? Because words do hurt when you use them to judge. Thank you and good luck. Back to you, Frankie.
Thank you, Bond. Excellent. Yes, we should always be encouraging and lifting up and empowering each other. Do we want to do the feedback right now, team? Is that good for everybody? Okay, please raise your hand and offer Bond some feedback on his speech this morning. What you thought, what you liked, some suggestions maybe. Anybody?
I believe both me and Charles have our hands up.
Who's that?
This is April, and I believe Charles as well.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yes,
And
Charles.
that's
Bond, that was a very interesting speech, a very informative speech. The key point that I took away, because it's something that we talk about in listening skills classes, is if you don't understand somebody, ask them to repeat it. That is the best way to do it, have them repeat it. A little more voice inflection would have made your speech a lot better, but it was very informative. Thanks, Bond.
Thank you, Charles. Anyone else?
April has her hand up.
Well, has it up as a timer, I think. Do you have feedback, April?
Yes, this one is for feedback.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to share quickly, Bond, thank you so much for your speech and the relevance with learning language. I remember learning French, and the fear that I had was so great that I was uncomfortable with speaking, and it killed my confidence. And I didn't know that I had an ability to speak until I found other Americans years later who said, wow, you sound decent. How that translates into entrepreneurship. Often people say things to us that sounds encouraging. Well, you really think that idea is going to work? Or, you know, there's a million coffee shops. Why would you do that? Or, there's so many things that people say in a similar way that you had with your speech that can kill people's confidence. So I think, thank you for your speech. I think it's a great value add, just like you talked about showing people the road and saying good luck when it comes to entrepreneurship. Sharing with our family and friends the same thing, but as entrepreneurs and entrepreneur supporters ourselves, guarding our own hearts to be able to recognize that people may not mean to have those silver bullets that kill our confidence, but it can and it does, especially when you're stepping out on your own ideas. So thank you for sharing that. And I encourage anyone who has had the silver bullet of death to your heart in your entrepreneurial journey to feel encouraged that you're doing great. Get back on there's a million coffee shops, but guess what? Starbucks is still building one more. So why can't we with whatever idea that's in our heart? So again, thank you for your speech this morning.
Thank you, April. Anyone else? Seeing none, our second speaker is Melinda Maganzo, our Vice President of Education. Roz is going to be her evaluator. She's giving a level 2 project 2 speech, Understanding My Leadership Style, from the Leadership Development Pathways. Her speech title is, What is Your Leadership Style? Time is 5 to 7, April. Please help me welcome to the virtual lectern, Melinda Maganzo. What is your leadership style?
Good morning, entrepreneur, Toastmasters, and guests. Welcome aboard this ship today. And what is your leadership style? Society has a lot of dimensions when they think about leadership. One of the famous names is Daniel Goleman, one of the psychologists who's a guru about emotional intelligence and understanding your leadership style. So let's understand leadership style. When you think about, first of all, let's understand what's the difference between leadership and management. We all have theories about that, but management gives you the opportunity to understand that it's the planning and the organization and decision making. Those are associated with management. But leadership is an opportunity for you to share and help your teammates grow. And we as entrepreneurs have the privilege in our leadership roles and running our businesses and helping teammates or friends or individuals grow to the next level. So let's talk about the leadership from the perspective of who are you and do you really know your style and what makes you effective in what you do as a business leader. And for me as a leader, I think about a lot of things. I think about the ability to be able to help people go to the next level. I see myself as a transformative type leader. But I'm going to explain those styles to you and see if you can identify which one is your style. There's transformative, where you focus on helping people grow and go to the next level. Transformative says, I want to help you reach your potential and go further. Whereas transactional, which is another type of managerial type style, more associated with management, transactional says, work with me, do as I say, let's get it done together. There's usually some kind of order associated with transactional. But Daniel Goleman talks about different leadership styles, which I want to tell you right now. There's 6 main ones that he shares with us to help us understand what helps us soar to the next level. One of those styles is called coercive. Now, coercive leadership says, I've given you some direction, do as I say. When you think about coercive, you can think about a parent, right? A parent and a child. That's more coercive leadership when they're younger, coercive. So that's the coercive style. The second type of leadership style to be mindful of is authoritative. Some people function that way where they give you orders and your responsibility is to follow those orders. They're not really asking you for your input. They just want you to follow the orders given. That's authoritative. So we said so far what? Coercive and then authoritative. The third type of leadership style associated with Dr. Daniel Goleman is affiliative. Affiliative is kind of nice because with affiliative leadership, you're trying to focus on relationship building. Let's work together. Can we do that? Affiliative. That's the third one. The fourth one is what? It is democratic. Most of us are pretty much familiar with democratic because let's collaborate our efforts. Let's work on how we can get this thing done as far as the task. We can associate with that. It's kind of participative. You're engaging the other party. That's democratic. That's the fourth type. The fifth type is what? Pay setting. Now, this one is questionable in the corporate world because with pay setting, people have expectations for you and they want you to reach their standard, but it can be interpreted as negative. So be careful with pay setting. While it's a nice thing, you want people to get your standard, everybody might not move up at the same pace. So that's what we have to be mindful with pace setting. And then, of course, there's coaching. Coaching is where you're trying to, like similar to transformational, you're trying to help people do better. Or maybe you see something that they can improve on. And so you're being proactive, more so in a one-on-one situation to help the person get better. So when you think about your leadership style, how do you see yourself? I think about my leadership style. I was saying I am basically a transformational leader. And I also have incorporating some coaching in my leadership style. So I think about the individuals who I spend time with, if it's a one-on-one scenario, especially with my business Make Success a Mindset, where I do work one-on-one. So I serve as a coach that way. But generally speaking, in leadership, I function as a transformational leader. It's fun to walk into a room and change it because of what you're doing to help influence the body in front of you. So think about your leadership style, how you can make a difference. Entrepreneur Toastmasters, what is your leadership style? Know it, be proactive. You might need to incorporate different types of styles based on the situation at hand. Take yourself to the next level and stay transformational. Fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Melinda. Great. I think I am the supporter style. I'm not sure where that fits in, but I like helping people. That's what I like to do. Okay, April, is that hand up for feedback? No, it's for timing. So let's give Melinda some feedback on this very important speech in her leadership development. I always love your energy and your enthusiasm and your excitement. You always make me smile. Bond, or oh, wait, excuse me. Charles had his hand up first. Charles, go ahead.
Melinda, your laugh, as I've always told you, is contagious. That was a very informative speech. I kind of wonder if maybe that should be a part one and a part two, because there was maybe too much information in that one speech for everybody to find their nuggets. But very informative, very helpful. And I guess depending on the type company you're running, you would have to have a different leadership style.
Thank you,
Bond,
Charles. Bond.
Yes, Melinda, great speech, a lot of energy, as Frankie said, a lot of confidence about your own leadership. I think you did a good job in listing all those different types of leadership. But from my perspective, I would love to hear some personal stories that you can share with us to reflect your leadership, which you made that clear. It is a transformational leadership, but if you can provide us one or two very personal stories, how you interact with your peers, your colleagues to apply this leadership style, that would be great. There is a saying, by remembering your story, we remember your speech. By remembering your speech, we are going to learn something. So if you can share a little more about personal story, that will make this speech more memorable. Overall, great speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Bond. Anyone else with feedback for Melinda? Ah, Karen. Welcome.
You still on mute, Karen.
Apologies. Thank you. I quickly wanted to just say thank you for that speech. I was able to appreciate it both as a parent and as that's a parent of a teenager as well, and as an entrepreneur, you know, as someone who is really at a place where I'm trying to decide my own leadership style. I was able to appreciate that. After listening to you, I'm inclined to say that I'm a transformational leader in my workspace. But as a parent, I'm still trying to figure that one out because I'm thinking it's a combination that's going on there. I'm also thinking that perhaps if you had more time, I would have appreciated some clarification between when you started out speaking about the transformational leadership versus the transactional leadership. And then when you went over to the type of leadership according to the person you reference as the guru, like somehow it would have helped me, I think, if there was some kind of comparison there as to where they fit in those two. I'm not saying that that's what it should be. I'm just saying that's how I feel. Of course, I understand the time constraint, but this is just my feedback. I appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, Karen. Great. Great to hear. All right. Next up is our table topic session where we have the opportunity to speak off the cuff, impromptu speaking for our guests. I'm not sure if any or all of you are Toastmasters or familiar. Our topics master is our own Deborah Gillis. Deborah, you're on.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Table topics, impromptu. Today's theme is pathways. So I'm going to ask some questions regarding entrepreneurs and pathways. One of our paths today that we have is strategic relationships. The project on this path focuses on understanding diversity, personal and professional connections with a variety of people, and developing a public relations strategy, communicating interpersonally as well as public speaking. It helps you build your skills as a leader in communication. So I have a few topics I would like to call upon different ones for strategic relationships in entrepreneurship. entrepreneurship and the importance of building trust with customers. William, would you like to participate in table topics this morning?
Yeah, I want to participate.
Okay, William, when you're thinking about your entrepreneurship and how would you build trust with any of your customers?
Yeah, I will give trust to the customer because customer are precious for me. Yeah, currently I am an entrepreneurship and I want to know customers about the product that I want to sell to you all, and not only about the quantity but about quality. I will explain about quality, about uh, the quality and the useful of these goods that I want to sell. But after that, I want to sell and mention the prices. So the prices is important to make me profit, and I think to take a profit, I want to uh, keep my customer are loyal to encourage me because I think uh, I I have already tried to build my entrepreneurship, but I want to customer to appreciate it and seriously want to know about my products if I am an entrepreneur. Okay.
Thank you so much, William, for participating and answering that question. Great. And now I have an entrepreneurs within our midst this morning. That's part of our club. My next question will be surviving the first year. Tips for new entrepreneurs. Our entrepreneur, Roz Carter, would you be able to give us some detail, impromptu, in surviving the first year as an entrepreneur?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Now, I am general evaluator this meeting, so I will reserve some comments for that. But
Okay.
to answer your question, I am not personally an entrepreneur. I do not own a business. So I am a want-to-be entrepreneur. And so I believe my first year would be getting to know my business, spreading the word through public relations, and encouraging people to want to buy into my business or perhaps help me spread the word so that my business can grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Roz, for your comments. And thank you for reminding me that you are the joint evaluator. My next question, I'd like to ask the guests if they would like to participate. Bruce, this question will go to you. Cultural competence, an essential skill for global entrepreneurs. As you see, remotely, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that come to meetings globally. How would you, in your entrepreneurship, if there is one, talk about or you provide us with information, how would you handle the skills in global entrepreneurships? What are some tips you may have for us?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I think I would be considered an entrepreneurial person in the middle because I'm basically a contractor, but that means I still need to find contracts. And an interesting question for me is the fact that I have had the chance to work around the world within business, within my job. So I've had to go to Azerbaijan and the Middle East and Europe and Africa for business. So I have had the opportunity to meld a lot of different cultures. And I think the best thing for us individually, we're lucky enough to be from America, and the business language around the world is English. So although I know English, now everybody in the rest of the world, when they come wherever we go, they need to know English, even though if that's not their first language. So just by then, you know, like if you go to an air pilot, a pilot's, no matter where you are in the world, they speak English. So we're lucky enough to have English as a just being by default the business language of we won the lottery. But the culture I met and found around the world is no matter where you go, no matter what country you go to, they all know Microsoft. They all know the business language of the world. So you may have a different culture, you may have a different language, but the business language of the world is what we see day to day. So I think we got lucky in that aspect. And I think that I really don't have much more on entrepreneurial other than the fact that we basically won the lottery ticket. Back to you.
Thank you, Bruce. My next question would be for Charles Radney. Charles, entrepreneurship in the age of remote work. Because we do a lot of things remotely, do you see advantages or disadvantages in your entrepreneurship in this remote world?
Thank you for that question, Deborah. As a trainer, I do see some of the challenges from the remote aspect because I'm a person who really likes to interact with the people who I'm facilitating a subject with. That interaction can best be done in person. However, because of COVID and retooling my business, I am very adept at doing everything online. And as far as reaching out to people, I think that you need to be able to be in a situation where people can still feel like they're interacting with you. And in order to do that, you need to have the proper equipment as you're doing your online trainings and presentations. Like so many people, I started off with one monitor. Then I added the second monitor because the people would be on one, the material would be on the other. But in finding that a lot of people are in the chat, I put a third monitor in so I could monitor the chat. If we're going to be online, we need to make the adjustments to our situation where everybody feels involved and feels that they are part of the learning process. Back to you, Deborah.
Thank you, Charles, for that impromptu answer. I'm going to ask the question this time, and if there's a guest or a member of Entrepreneur Club would like to answer this question. Impact investing, entrepreneurship driving social change. Can you give me some tips or information regarding the impact of your entrepreneurship driving the social change? Any volunteers? Any guests? Yes, MJ. Thank you.
That's an interesting question. So how I feel that my entrepreneurship as a writer and a screenwriter can impact social change is that for at least my projects and my stories, I try to incorporate what most people call realism or transrealism in my writing. That isn't pretty. That may seem subjective or discriminatory, but there's a truth in that story that I think people need to see in order to really characterize themselves properly. And an example of that is in the story, I make mention of there's two families at war, and one of them is Moorish blood and the other one is African American. And the African Americans won, but they said they're going to make the Moors pay dearly for what they've done to the blacks. And if you think about that, the name of the one family is Black, the name of the other family is Moore. So superficially, you're thinking of just two family names like Montague and Capulet, right? From Shakespeare. But if you look deeper, or if you know a little bit about that culture and that history with regard in respect to the slave trade, there's a deeper meaning to it that you can't ignore, and you have to take a big step back before you think that I'm being maybe judgmental or whatever, because I'm trying to educate and change people's mind, because there is a rise in a discrimination category called colorism. And many people don't give it any thought until Miss Kamala Harris ran for, or VP Harris ran for president. Now you're hearing about it, but it's been around for decades. So to answer your question, I do believe that entrepreneurship, no matter what you're doing, you could be selling coffee, writing music, writing a movie, or working at UCR. You could be doing so many different things, but whatever your entrepreneurial journey is, it has to me, for me only, I can only speak for myself, being from the Caribbean, you have to look at the world around you and see how you want it to be, and see if, oh, I'm out of time, but you have to look at the world around you, see how you can impact change that's really going to make a difference in your community. And I'll stop.
Thank you, MJ, and thank you, Toastmasters and guests. Strategic relationship is part of our pathways in Toastmasters. So thank you for answering questions regarding that path and entrepreneurship. I turn the control back to our Toastmaster of the day, Frankie Jones.
Thank you, Deborah. Great questions. You really had me thinking there on some of those. Next is our feedback portion on how we did on our meeting. So please help me welcome Roz Carter as our general evaluator. How have we done, Roz?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. We did excellent today, don't you think? Raise your hand if you feel like you were engaged in today's meeting. I see a lot of hands, and I think that everyone deserves a round of applause, because if you feel that you were engaged in this meeting, then we did something right. That's the purpose of Entrepreneur Toastmasters Club. We want every person, member or guest, to feel like they were engaged, to feel like they could think about why they're here and to respond and say something along the lines of, I like this speaker's comments about blah, 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 or I feel that the engagement of other members were help me with my business or with my involvement in Toastmasters or with my family, because that's why entrepreneurship is so important. Now, we start with Bond Wang, our first speaker, and he said things along the lines of making sure we have an engaging process for extending the word good luck. Now, we could say good luck in any way, shape, or form, and it could mean something different for everyone. So thank you, Bon, for saying good luck to us as your audience and how it impacted you. Our second speaker, Melinda, talked about understanding our leadership style. And she started and said, you know, the leadership style and the various forms of it. But she also mentioned how it compares to management. I did not hear too many suggestions on the comparison of leadership and management. So perhaps in another speech, Melinda, you could add to that and tell us about membership. I mean, management. Now, I want to invite our guests who did cooperate. And I say that freely because they cooperated with this meeting. And the outstanding questions that our table topics master, Deborah Gillis, inspired us to speak off the cuff on. And one of the wonderful things about table topics is it allows people who are not a prepared speaker to join in and say something. Just speak up. And your questions were excellent, Deborah. I think that everyone who participated can say that they felt like Deborah was pulling something out of them to engage in the meeting. And let me just ask Bruce, our area director, to say a few words during this time about what you thought about today's meeting, because your feedback is important to us. Bruce?
Thank you, Roz. Coming from you, that's great praise. Thank you very much. I know you have a lot of history within Toastmasters. So just to be actually on a Zoom call with all of you guys with all so much experience is already it's a great day, great way to start the day. I will say that you guys start early in the morning. I'm not going to lie.
Me too, Bruce. Me too.
I'm an early riser to be at work by 7. I'm not sure about that, but great job. It was really well done, really well organized. My particular club is not online. So for me, I'm learning the online atmosphere of giving speeches online. And so I'm learning, it's an area director. It's my first time being an area director. So I'm learning how other clubs operate, which is really neat to see for me because we're in person. We are hybrid, but for the most part, we're in person. So how the online world is working is really interesting for me to see. And I'm for my period as area director, I'm looking forward to see how you guys operate on a weekly basis. And hopefully I'll get a chance to zoom in with you guys more often than not. And especially, I think I can learn more from you than you can learn from me with all of the experience that you have, especially Roz, you've done pretty much everything in the Toastmasters book. I've seen your name for years now, so it's actually nice to be a part of this. As your area director, as some of you guys know, for guests you don't know, I am the area director for your club, and I will give you your information coming down from the district. Although April is actually my division director, she has all the information and I get it from her, but it is my job to give it to you. So it's actually nice to have this double set. So make sure that no information doesn't get to your club. Your club is specifically, strategically set up to make sure that no information from the district gets by you guys. So take advantage of us while we are here. One thing I would tell you is that if you have officers that have not been trained yet, there is one more officer makeup meeting on August 22nd. So I'm not sure if you have any of your officers that have yet to be trained, but that would be the next officer makeup training is October 22nd. And if there's anything that you guys think that I need to do to inform you from District 12, let me know. Also, I would take a huge guidance from you guys who have been in Toastmasters for years, who have seen many area directors come and go. The things that area directors have done good, what you think they should do, what they haven't done in the past, because I want to learn from this position as well. So I have no problem taking direction from people with such great experience that have seen this play out every year. So thank you, Ross, for giving the opportunity to at least address your club.
Oh, thank you, Bruce. We appreciate our area directors, especially in this club, because we know they are taking an opportunity to visit clubs that may not be their own and to give advice how we could learn more as a club, because without clubs, there is no area division or district. So we appreciate any feedback you give us, and we'll be happy to share our comments with you as well. I want to close by saying to our guests, all of you, some of you I know, some of you I have extended an invitation to or shared the agenda with. It's important for us to keep in touch with you. So please put your email in the chat box. And I'd like to ask Frankie to print that chat communication and send it to me so that I could keep in touch. I have kept in touch with most, but there are some names that I'm not familiar with. I want all of them to feel that they're welcome to come anytime It's the same Zoom ID and it's the same passcode for every meeting, first, third, and fifth Wednesdays, whenever there is a fifth Wednesday. And we want you to be a part of us. Excuse me. And if you want to give a speech or if you want to say something more, let us know so that Melinda can try to squeeze you in on the agenda. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, all the members who spoke or participated in table topics. We really appreciate you because you round out the whole experience of our Entrepreneur Toastmasters Club. Back to you, Frankie.
Thank you, Roz. Yes, I would like each of our guests to have an opportunity to comment on your experience with us. And please put your email in the chat so that we can communicate with you in the future. We can send you our agendas as they come up. And we always invite you back anytime. William, what are your comments?
Yeah, my comment is I really proud to join this club for the first time. I think the cable topic master has called me to join cable topic, and I would like to appreciate it. And I think overall this club is awesome for everyone and also for me. Thank you for having me. Goodbye. Yeah.
Thank you, William. MJ, I met you first at Readers and Writers, I believe, and sorry I called you Mia. I thought that was what I saw.
No, you said it correctly. I just knew that I introduced myself as MJ. I didn't want to confuse anyone to make it look like I'm a new person or I'm trying to masquerade. I'm just using my work computer, so that's why you
Yeah.
saw Mia J. What was the question? I'm sorry. My kids are
Just what your comments, your impressions of our meeting this morning.
well, I like I said last time when I was invited, I believe last Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays ago, I'm sorry. The meetings are well organized. Everyone speaks very well. They pace themselves. I've noticed with Bong, I think his name is, his pacing is superb. It's really good. So you should give yourself a pat on the back. And for William, you're going, I see you getting there as well. I'm a foreigner as well. I had to take English lessons from a lady from Britain just to speak the way that I speak now. And it's not perfect. You still hear my Caribbean slang or my patois, as they call it. So don't feel bad. Your pacing is getting there, but I noticed that everyone paces themselves really well when they speak. I do have a question, but I would like to take it offline with Bong about his presentation. I found it a little fascinating because I've heard a similar comment like that with regard to my books. I'd love to take it offline with him. And I've added both, I believe, Roz, sorry, and Frankie to my Facebook account. So you see my followership. And I'm hoping that I could network here instead of doing the UCR Toastmasters. So I know that's not really a compliment or an assessment of today, but today was really well done, well executed, perfectly timed, just great overall.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes,
Karen,
thank you.
do you have any comments about our meeting, Karen?
I certainly feel like it was worth the wait. I have been trying to get into this meeting, and I keep mixing up the dates. And so I even tried reaching out via email, and I actually thought, I didn't get a response, but I saw it last night. So it was good that I got it. So I thought it was worth the wait. It caught my attention because you had the word entrepreneurship. And as an upcoming entrepreneur, this was really important to me. I recently joined as a member with Cartersville Toastmasters, like literally less than a month ago. So I'm really fresh into this. But just the fact that this is about a group of either entrepreneurs or persons who appreciate that, that won me over immediately. I thought this was a must attend. And I then forwarded the invite to another entrepreneur who will be joining the other one. So that being said, I appreciated the way it was organized. And I immediately recognized that it has an impact already on my perspective, on the value of perspective. That question that you posed about social change, there are times when we would go by the book, like the book definition for social change. But I like that this atmosphere and this platform allows us to tap into our perspective, and so this is great. This is exciting for me. And I hope that I can, it is early, but I hope that I can come. I am in Belize, by the way. For those of you who don't know Belize, it's Mother Nature's best kept secret. So I would understand if you don't know Belize. So it's a bit early here, but it is good. It is good to be here. And on a last note, I'd like to say that I happen to view online platforms like Zoom as another venue. And so the same way we would have gone in person to attend an event and we would have prepared accordingly for that event, I feel like that's the way we need to take and treat these platforms. It's not a place where you just come and sit and eat your popcorn while you listen to everybody else. It's the same way we would want to engage. This is the platform. It's how we make it, how we treat it. And I'm going to stop there because I'm sure there's a timer going off somewhere. And so I'm not going to say much more on that. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sumitra.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Actually, this is my first time that I'm in this Toastmaster and just attending this, and it was really fruitful. Actually, I get to know some pattern how it works, and also about it's really worthwhile listening about entrepreneurship and different leadership pattern like just transform transformational, right? And yeah, it was really nice, and I hope to be in this Toastmaster um, in the next session. Actually, I'm from Nepal. Now here we have, it's almost 9 p.m. So there, maybe like in the morning. So yeah, thank you so much. It's great pleasure, and it's great to meet you all.
Where are you, Sunitra?
I'm from Kathmandu, Nepal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's a bouquet of flowers I'm looking at. Hunitha Vathe. Do you have any comments for us?
Hello all, this is Punitavati from India. I happened to see this poster of yours, Toastmaster invite. I joined very late, but anyway, it's nice to be part of your meeting. Hoping to learn from you all in the near future.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
visiting.
you.
We are really blessed to have all of you here this morning. Our presiding officer is Melinda Maganzo, and I'm going to turn it over to you. If you have any club business or announcements, I already asked for the guest comments, my bad. And any future roles that you want to talk about. She is our Vice President of Education and prepares our agenda for us.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Thank you for serving as our Toastmaster today. And all of
Great
you
job. Yay.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did a great job. Thank you for keeping our meeting flow. That's the power of the meeting, is the flow. So you were transactional in what you did in handling your role today, Frankie. Good job. And so moving forward, I'm really excited about us moving forward and staying President's Distinguished like we do. So this is a new Toastmaster year. I want to encourage each one of you to move forward in your pathway agenda. Whatever that is for you, volunteer, let me know, because we have pathways only on the first Wednesday of the month is when we do pathway speeches. And so I just want us to do speeches in general, but I want you to move forward to another level in your pathways. That's what I encourage you to do. And so whatever role you like to sign up for, we have our meetings on the first and third Wednesdays. And then of course the fifth is the mastermind meeting. Just be involved, be engaged, and come on, entrepreneurs, let's go up to a higher level as we do what we do. And so those are my remarks. I'm trying to think of for the good of the order. If anyone else can think of something I need to talk about, feel free to let me know at this time.
Well, I just want to throw out there that next week, some of us will be attending the Toastmasters International Convention, which will be in Anaheim, California this year. So if you're planning to attend in person, or if you want to attend online, there is a hybrid version. Go to Toastmasters.org and look up the convention information so you could sign up and look for the workshops, the speakers, and every event that is held at the International Convention. We happen to have it locally in California for those of us who live here. So many of us in this club are planning to attend. However, if you cannot, please know that there is an online version so you can watch it every day. It's August 14 through 17. And you can look it up at Toastmasters.org.
Thank you, Roz. Okay, I'll return back to, there's another hand.
Yeah, I did want to let our guests know that our third Wednesday meeting is focused on business challenges. So we have people who present business challenges and get feedback from the other entrepreneurs. So our first meeting of the month is pathways oriented. The second is a business challenge. And then when we have fifth Wednesdays, we have a mastermind. So it's a little bit different from your regular Toastmaster meetings. And also, yes, the officers training on the 22nd. Take advantage of that. Thank you, Bruce, for the reminder. I'm your newsletter editor for District 12. If you want to view our newsletters, you can go to our website, District 12 Toastmasters, and there is a tab on the left that says District 12 News and Events, and you can look at all our current as well as our past newsletters and find out what's going on in our district. Back to you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Does anyone else have anything for the good of the order for this meeting?
I think we're good.
All right. I want to thank you all for being here today. And I just want to give you, I don't know, does somebody have a closing thought for today? I didn't see one there. But continue to soar to the next level. What is that for you? Ask yourself the question. Do I need to question my leadership style? Do I need to tell myself good luck as I keep moving forward? But keep soaring, because when you think about eagles and chickens, what do you see? What's the difference? Eagles are always soaring to the top. You don't see eagles coming down. They only come down to get their prey and then they go back up. However, chickens and crows are on the ground fighting. So let's move forward and continue to soar as an eagle. For the good of the order, I say our meeting is adjourned.